That would be nice. Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if you did something, huh?
Hello, everyone. How are you? Happy Thursday. My name is Sarah from Polished Pinkies, and I am here with Haley.
Hello.
She works at the warehouse, and her nails are on display today because her nails, I'm going to flip you over, her nails have really high natural C-curves, really high natural apexes, and sometimes doing nails like this can be kind of tricky. The other thing about her nails is that they grow downward, so you can see like they're all pointing down rather than straight out of her finger, right? So if we're following this line, you can see that her nail grows on a downward. So we have a couple of different scenarios we have to consider when doing her nails. So going live on her nails is going to be primo learning opportunity. So first thing we've done, we've removed, we have prepped, we have cleansed. So I'm going to move her out of the way to keep her clean. And next is deciding what base coat to use. Now the structure gel I'm going to be using today is Luxio Build, and I love me some Luxio Build because it basically does all of the work for you. So Luxio Build is a fantastic self-leveling structure gel. This is a very flexible structure gel, which means that when it's cured, it does have some flexibility to it. It does not cure rigid. So this is for people who have generally healthy nails without a lot of correction. Right? On her, we just need a little bit of structure to make them look pretty, but she doesn't need any correction. So then it comes to the base coat. What do we choose? Now, Haley has those really nice nails where you can kind of put any base coat on, which is nice because it gives me an opportunity to switch it up on her. So today, well, generally I use Luxio Base, which is a great base coat. It has a really nice cushion to it when it is cured. In this case, because I'm using Luxio Build with it, I feel like when I use this paired together on nails like hers, then I have bubble nails because this has a really nice cushion. You can't really scrub in a super thin layer, just the way it is. It's a fabulous base coat. So then if I want to use this on nails like hers, we're going to use X-Bond. Why? Because X-Bond can be scrubbed in so nice and thin, really, really lovely. It's rather like it's super thin. I would call it watery thin. Very thin base coat meant to be scrubbed in to the nail plate. This is just a bonder. This is not a corrector in any way, whereas this one I feel like you can use it to slightly smooth and correct a nail plate. So Luxio Base is out for today. Luxio, our Accents X-Bond, is in. Here we go. So on my other hand, I've already put some X-Bond, really nice and thin, that has been cured. Everything cures for 30 seconds in an LED lamp. Let me get all the parts and pieces that I'm gonna need for this. Here we go. So a really nice thin layer, like I scrub off pretty much everything on the bristle because we don't need any bulk here. Basically all we're doing is scrubbing this base coat into the nail plate, just like that. You can even see all of the texture. You see that? You can also do this with luminary. If your client was needing extra adhesion, you could use luminary in the same way, like really nice and thin. And that would be an excellent bonder. With Haley, because she doesn't have any adhesion issues, then like I said already, I can use whatever base coat I want. So whatever I'm wanting to practice with makes it really nice. You can get all of these products at polishedpinkiespro.com. And if you have any questions regarding any of the steps that we are doing during this live, shout it out. Or if you have questions about products that we sell on the website, we're always happy to help. Need any troubleshooting, anything like that, just let us know. So once you have a really nice thin layer of X-Bond, If you put on more than just a thin layer, it's going to run into the sidewalls. So promise me when you use X-Bond, you won't chance fate, because then you'll have a mess on your hands. So X-Bond is just super nice and paper thin. Once you have that in place, that can go into the lamp for a full 30 seconds. So on Haylee, she is actually a part of a wedding this coming week. So she wanted something that was very natural, very neutral for the day. So she just wants Luxio Build in the shade Kiss. Build Kiss is what it's called. And this does have a bit of shimmer in it. It's beautiful. Gorgeous. So this is going to be my structure. It's also going to be my color. Everything like that. Will you put that hand back in? Mm-hmm. We were on 10 seconds. So I just needed to have just a little bit more time. Okay, so.
I had 10 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm going to stick it in on top.
Perfect. Thank you. So Luxio Build, if I pull this out, what I want you to look at is right here on the neck. If I pull out a bead, watch how quickly that just self-levels itself inside of the bottle. So it's a really lovely gel to work with, very easy, very forgiving. Now this does have a heat spike, so you would need to warn your clients that they can go in for 3 seconds and then come out. That way it doesn't get too hot in the lamp, but it's a fantastic gel. Katie Pullum, can you explain why you would use Build versus Trinity? Say my client is a heavy lifter. That's a great question. So I would use Build on people who have short to sport short nails. So sport short would be, something like a square to here. Not very long. I would also use it just to build out a corner if my client broke a corner, but I wouldn't use it on anything longer than that. If your client is a heavy lifter, then that is based on the bonder. So if Accent's Trinity, well, really quickly, Luxio Build doesn't have bonder, so then we used X-Bond. When you're talking about Trinity, let me get that out. That way I keep myself clear on what I'm saying. When you're using Trinity, now this is a hard gel. It does not require a separate bonder because it does have bonder in it. So if your client is a lifter and you use this as a bonder, then I would choose something like X-Bond to be the bonder, or I would use Luminary to be the bonder if they needed something a little more. But as far as using a flexible gel versus a hard gel, it's based on lifestyle and also length of nail. I do have a client who she always wears her nails short, but she wears them square. And depending on the season of the year, literally the season, because in the winter she does a lot of Christmas trees. So in the winter, she does better with Trinity because she needs something a lot more rigid and hard. But right now we're using Luxio Build on her. Hopefully that makes sense. These two, it's dependent on their lifestyle. The bonder, what's lifting off their nails, really just depends on the client needs, and that's a trial and error. Okay, so in we go with Luxio Build. Now remember, Haylee already has a beautiful apex. She already has a beautiful natural C-curve. So I don't need to use a lot of product on her. And I'm going to flip you over. Like really not a ton, because what will happen is when you have somebody, let's keep it this way. Okay. When you have somebody with such a high C-curve where the sides of her nails are pinched in like that, then what happens is if you use a lot of product, you're going to create a shelf. This is going to go flat. You're going to have a lot of product here. You're going to have a lot of product here. And if we have too much product on the sides, you're going to have a lot of lifting on the sides. So instead, we are just going to use a little bit of product, maybe even just a hint more than what I have, but I'm going to put it on with a detailer and draw it just down the center so that I can create a shape. There we go. But it really, next nail, I promise to come closer so you can see that it self-levels all by itself. It's just so lovely. So upside down, you can see I put just a little bit in the middle so that it wasn't so flat here because her natural nail is slightly more flat on her pinky. So now I've created a slight apex. In that goes, could be hot. And then I'll do it on her index finger. Now her index finger, pointing downward, And we have an apex already right here. And I can't have a lot of product here, otherwise we're gonna have what will look like a bubble nail. So I'm going to put down a slip layer and decide where I need just a little more product on her nails. Let's flip you over so we can all learn together. So she has a very lovely, natural, you can see the whole thing is curved, where her pinky was a little flat right here. So this one has a lovely natural C curve. So I don't want her to have a bubble nail, right? I don't want to put too much product where it looks like a big bubble. So I'm just going to put just a hair, a titch more, a little tiny dabble of gel.
A smidge.
A smidge, if you, that's exactly right. So you could TikTok this on this particular client. I mean, I'm just not gonna, because I am going to tell the gel where I need a smidge more, a little tickle here and a little dabble there, because I don't want to end up with a bubble nail. So I have to be very, very careful and pay attention to each. All of her nails are a little bit different. So I'm going to flip you over. All of her nails are a little bit different. So I don't have too much product on there where it's going to be too fat, too ugly. We don't want ugly nails. I also don't want to put too much product here because she already has a natural apex. Tricky, right? Tricky. And that goes. I'm glad that was helpful, Katie. Thank you. Okay, next up, let's dissect this nail. Since we don't have color, we'll spend a couple minutes extra dissecting each nail. Okay, so this nail has pinched sides. Let's come up closer to the camera. Pinched sides right here and right here where they kind of pinch in. See, even on her skin, you can see those are pinched. And then right here, we have a lovely curve all on its own. Oops, right there. So she already has a beautiful C curve. She already has a beautiful apex. Look at that. Like her nails are so naturally good that there isn't much correction here. So I have to be careful not to create, well, for the sake of saying it again, bubble nails, because yuck. Luxio Build is so easy to use. I am hoping that you are able to see how much that just does it for you. It just does all the work for you. Okay, I'm turning it over into the camera so that we can see and make sure we don't have too much product, that we don't have a shelf on both sides. Because if I let it settle, or if I put too much product, all of that is going to settle to the sides. We're gonna have a shelf. We don't want a shelf. So I'm gonna pick this up right here. Push this over right here. Beautiful. And that goes, please. All right, next one. I'm going to try and do it up in there so you can really see. All right. I forgot to dissect this nail. So many things happening. But this nail is a twisted nail. One side is higher than the other side. So this one's lower and this one's higher. So we have to be careful that we don't put too much product on this side and instead create balance by pushing it onto the lower side on this side. Okay, I'm gonna flip you over. All right, so it looks like a little bit heavy on the front, so I'm going to pull this back if I can. And as far as both sides, they look pretty good. All right, so let's try and pull this back ever so slightly so that we don't have such a heavy front. And gorgeous. In that goes, please. All right, let's dissect this one before I put on product. So we have not quite as high of a curve to her nail right here. It kind of is a little bit flatter of a curve, but we still have those super pinched sides. And if we look at it sideways, like she already has a beautiful apex. She actually has an apex here and an apex here. Well, let me hold you this way. Okay, yeah, she has a natural apex in the middle of her nail right here. So we're just going to even that out. Here we go.
Can you have two apexes on one nail?
Yeah, but you shouldn't, because then you're gonna have a nail that's wavy.
Oh.
I just did wavy nails. Not just. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And I started to learn and recognize how to see a double apex, and I was like, oh. Now, would you have been able to point out that they were wavy? No. But once you see it, you're like, oh, I see. Mm-hmm. There's kind of like a ooh. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. In that goes, please.
While you were just talking about your dissection of nails,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned in the last year is not every nail is the same and you don't apply the same.
Yes, yes, not every nail. Yeah, even on here.
Yep.
Each nail slightly different, looks different. This one is wider, this one is more narrow. It's going to look different, has to have a different product. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's flip you over so we can look at it in the camera. Okay, so I think I have a little bit too much product toward the tip. However, this one when I was prepping, I'm like, why is your nail so high? And it was this nail. So this one, because it is more pinched, flip you over. This one is a tighter pinch all the way around. Do you see how it's like, oop, I think I just touched it. So it's like a perfect C, right? So this is the highest of all of them, and I have to account for that and not put on so much product. Otherwise, this nail is going to be a little bit fat. Do you see? I took off not very much. I only took off what's on this side, but it will be just enough to where her nail doesn't look so round. Gorgeous. And that goes, please. All right. All right, let's turn you over so I can see in the camera. So this one I especially always worry because it always feels quite high to me, and I think maybe I'll take off a little bit of product because right here feels a little bit like whoop, and then it goes in. Okay, double apex, here we go. Work with me. So we're going up here, we have a break in the up, and then we have another up. Do you see? Or is it already self-leveled out? If you can, go back and see that there was a double apex. It was slight, but it was there. And sometimes, especially when you take pictures and you're like, why does the nail look like that? Like, what the heck? Might be because you have a double apex. So I'm going to take off just a little bit of product. Just a hint. I'm going to walk this gel back slightly. Then we'll look at it again. All right, let's look this way. Looks pretty good. Let's turn you sideways. We still have slightly a double apex. Do you see I have a break here? So we have an apex here, and then we're finishing the apex here. So I'd have to walk this gel slightly to that section. All right. Kind of meet it in this area.
Sorry, I'm making so much noise.
You're fine. All right, and that goes. We're gonna call that good. Now onto a beautiful little baby tiny pinky. Let's dissect it real fast. So a lot, well, similar to our other one, but this one has a slight round on this half of the nail. So it comes up, then it kind of bows out right here, and then we have a bit more of a curve over here. So to correct that, I have to consider that this side is a little bit flatter, this side is a little bit higher. So I can't put product evenly on the nail. All right, let's flip you over. See if I corrected it. Ta-da. Okay, so I have slightly more product on that side, a little less product on this side. That way I have a cute, all even C curve. Cute, cute, cute. All right, and that goes, please. All right, on to the thumbs. Now how am I gonna flip you around? Okay, we'll go this way, sideways. So she has a pretty even thumb. However, even looking down the barrel, you can see how high this is. And on this particular thumb, I took off all the product because I was like, I can't even it out and think about putting product on when you have such a high apex on that thumb. So if I am not careful, too much product, especially in the center, is going to really create that rounded bubble nail look. So I'm going to make sure that I pay attention that I need slightly more product at the back, a lot less product in the middle, and we'll consider what is needed at the front, at the free edge. All right, I'm gonna flip you around or flip you sideways and put you up. Yep, just like this. Okay, so I don't have too much product at the front. Still nice and thin. Looks pretty rounded. I'm gonna show it sideways. But did you see how I evened it out because I put more product at the back, not very much in the middle, not very much at the front. So really, really pay attention to your client's nail shape and try to dissect like, how will I make that look like I know it should? Now I have to move this gel because it was sideways. Hold on. Before I put her in the lamp. Beautiful. And that goes, please.
Want it flat?
Sure. Yes, please. All right, last nail, and then we'll put on top coat and we'll be done for today. Okay, just like her other thumb, do you see how high this section of the nail already is? If I look down the barrel, come forward just slightly. If I look down the barrel, wow, the middle of her nail here is so tall, right? She has a very nice natural apex. So Same rule applies on this thumb as it did on the other one. I need more product here, and by more, I mean slight. We don't have to put a lot of product to do the job. So we're gonna put on our slip layer. I won't need a lot of product at the front. I won't need a lot of product at the cuticle. And I won't need a lot of product at her apex. Where do I need it? I need it in this section right here. And by some product, I mean like a hint of product. We don't really need a ton, okay? Like even that is too much, but we're gonna put it on. We're gonna pull it forward, taking off the excess, okay? And now, okay, while that does its thing, I'm gonna move you this way. So if we look at her nail down the barrel, we don't have a ton more product in the middle, but we're evening out the bottom, making sure our line of light is beautiful. It's gorgeous. We don't have too much product at the front. All right, and that goes, please. Excellent, excellent. I hope that was helpful to all of you who might have clients where you're like, why does one nail look this way and one nail look another way? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that can be really frustrating. All right, we're going to finish off this manicure with a bit of Accents Shine On. It's a beautiful, easy to use, self-leveling, super shiny top coat. Does need a 30-second cure in an LED lamp. Now, for the sake of her other hand is currently curing, I'm just gonna flip her upside down just while that finishes, and then I'll put this hand into the lamp and work on the other hand. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna have you switch. Thank you. Now, Shine On is a 30-second cure. However, I find that it is super shiny if you cure it for a minute. So I like going 2 nails and then put the hand in, 2 nails, put the hand in, 2 nails, put the hand in for that 30 seconds, and then you have a really, really beautiful high shine. And that goes, please. Over for me for a couple seconds. Just curious, why don't you do all 4 at once? It's just because I'm wanting it to, that Shine On to cure just a little bit longer, because I just find that it's even more shiny. That's the only reason. Shine On is really, really shiny, even cured. If I did all 4, I'm just buying myself a little bit extra time in the lamp is all. Flip over for me for a couple seconds. Beautiful, and that goes. Is Shine On hot on your nails?
Slightly.
Slightly hot?
Yeah.
Like a tightening hot or a heat?
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I used to not feel it at all, and then the last couple of times that I've had my nails done, I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
There's like a warmth.
It was a little more than the build was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But still minimal, not bad.
Very interesting. And that goes, please. SS Nail Studio says, makes sense. I like that. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, makes you slow down, I guess, a little bit at the end. Gives extra time for curing. Makes your clients more happy, I guess. Or is that something we notice and they don't? That could be true.
That is a question.
Mm-hmm. All right, flip you over for like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then in that goes. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, as always, at the end of a manicure where you're using Accents products, Accents products are 100% gel, so that means there is no separating of layers. It's not like a hybrid gel product. So what you can do is go through, give a quick finish file to the free edge. It's not going to break a seal or make your gel be funny while your client is living her life for the next 3 weeks. So I always just do a really quick finish file so that any little snaggies or anything like that go away. Or if by chance you flooded anywhere, you can get that out and not give your client something to pick. Or like me, I noticed that my shaping was slightly off right here on this section. So I used this opportunity to correct my shaping. Beautiful. I'll take that hand. Thank you. All right, everybody. So that finishes off our very simple Luxio Build manicure for today. If you ever have any questions about Accents products or any of the products that we sell at Polished Pinkies, please let us know. We are always happy to help or troubleshoot or even go live to help you. Just let us know what you're needing. If you haven't heard about the Nail Tech Collective, you can visit polishedpinkiespro.com. Click on the Nail Tech Collective to find out more. It is on August 16th. Tickets are $15. It's going to be a fantastic day. We hope that you will join us. And until next time, have a good one. Bye.